Welcome back to Level 7 Omega Protocol. We're doing Mission 2, A Breath of Fresh Air. This is what I'm calling Turn 4, which is the end of Round 2. And it is now the Overseer's turn. So right now we have our team leader is facing the vent. We have our Heavy Support Specialist facing the door. And we have a Recon Specialist facing this way. Our team leader has 1 wound of a possible 4. All right, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go over to the dashboard for the Overseer, and we're going to look after that. All right, here we are at the dashboard. And the first thing we do at the dashboard on the Overseer's turn is we refresh the abilities. And so the only ability that has tokens in it right now is Surprise Attack. And the refresh rate is printed right here. It's the little light green number, which you probably can't see. And it is a 2, so the 2 adrenaline tokens that were in the pool there go back to the reserve. Now, the next thing we do for the Overseer is we do dashboard abilities. So that is activating any of the abilities in the dashboard. And because I now have a nice vent on the board, I have 8 adrenaline tokens here to spend. I'm going to use Clone Flankers, and that's going to cost 4 adrenaline to activate, and it says spawn up to 2 clones at a vent. And the continuing text says you may then pay 2 adrenaline tokens directly to the bank to spawn a clone at another vent, but we don't have another vent right now, so we're not going to worry about that. So we're going to spend 4 adrenaline, and we're going to spawn 2 clones at that vent. All right, that's all I want to do at the moment. So let's go back to the main board and we'll get those 2 clones on there and maybe they can do some damage. So on the main board, I am now going to spawn 2 rogue clones. These lovely little guys right here, the claws out. And when you spawn, you can spawn on the vent tile itself or any adjacent space to the vent tile. Obviously, I couldn't spawn it right here with the team leader because he's taking up that space. So I basically have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces I can put these on. I am just going to have 1 come out right here beside the team leader. I guess they're coming out of the vent. And 1 on, doesn't really matter. I'm going to put them here on this side of the vent. All right. And the commandos themselves do not have any ability to do interrupts right now, or they might be able to, but they don't. Well, the Heavy Support Specialist has an interrupt if somebody attacks him, but I think the Overseer is going to be a little more on the ball than that this time. All right, so now after we use dashboard abilities, now we activate the enemies. And we'll just take a look here. The activation cost for enemies, there's sort of 2 parts to this. You can just spend 1 adrenaline token per unit and have them move, or you can spend in the upper right hand corner here, you'll see a number, and on clones it's 1, but on other aliens it is a higher number. That's called the activation cost for a move combat action. So I now have 2 clones on the board. And so I'm going to spend 2 adrenaline, 1 to activate each of them, so they will both be activated. Put that into the bank. That leaves the Overseer now with only 2 adrenaline left. But I get to activate both of these clones. So I'll activate, I guess, 1 at a time. So I'm going to move 1, 2, and he's going to face the Recon Specialist. The reason he's going to attack the Recon Specialist is the Recon Specialist melee defense is only 3. So this means that the rogue clone, I guess just looking at his card again, here has a melee attack with his claws, you can see at the bottom there, of 3 black dice. So we're going to roll 3 black dice, and we're going to see if this rogue clone can take a claw mark out of the Reconnaissance Specialist. Wow, 2, 4, 5 beats the Reconnaissance Specialist defense of 3, no problem. The Reconnaissance Specialist is going to take a wound marker. So the Reconnaissance Specialist had a wound, got rid of it, he's got 1 again. 1 of 5. All right, and now we're going to activate the second rogue clone. I'm just going to have him move right there and right up to the reconnaissance specialist. And now what happens is, because the same type of alien is attacking the same target, you get to add one black dice to that attack, and it only can happen once. So if there were 3 rogue clones, it wouldn't be adding 2 black dice, it'd just be adding the 1. If you have the same type of alien attacking the same target. So this time, the second rogue clone gets to roll 4 attack dice, and he has to beat a defense of 3. And 2, 3, 4 does it again. Overseer is doing well, adding another wound to the reconnaissance specialist. Oh, and one thing I even forgot to mention, silly me, and I'll clarify it now. It doesn't matter, but I'll clarify it. Because the reconnaissance specialist has his maximum adrenaline right now, any attacks against him get +1 black attack dice. +1 black red attack dice. Because it's basically, he's used up all his adrenaline, he's fatigued or whatever, he's not as able to defend as well. I don't need to roll those extra red dice, but it's just a rule I should point out, that if you are at maximum adrenaline, you get attacked, you are going to be suffering having an extra red dice added into the alien attack. Anyway, both attacks were successes, so I won't need to do any re-rolling there. All right. That is the end of the activate enemies. And the last part of the Overseer turn is the discard adrenaline portion. And discarding adrenaline only means that you have to discard down to 10. So if at this point in a round, if the Overseer had more than 10 adrenaline, he would need to get rid of the excess and go down to 10. Our Overseer right now only has 2 adrenaline, so that is not an issue. All right, wow. Good job for the Overseer this time. Those couple of clones coming out of the vents and doing some pretty good damage to the recon specialist. All right, that's going to end the complete round 2, which I'm calling turn 4 because I'm splitting the rounds up into Commando and then Overseer. All right, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Join me next time when the Commandos will get to go again. It will be the beginning of round 3 and what I will be calling turn 5. All right, thanks for watching.